Account submitted by Tracker337. It was evening, and the sky was a deep red as the sun began to set behind us. We were leaving a nice dust trail from the dirt road, and the radio was playing music from the only radio station that could be picked up from the nearest town of Holbrook, Arizona. There was nothing unusual, nothing weird. It was at this time that my eye caught movement of something in the bushes a little up the road to the right of us. I remember slowing down, thinking that it was one of the many free-roaming sheep in the area that would dart out in front of the truck. As I passed where I thought I saw it, I sped up, thinking nothing else of it. Then out of nowhere, I just felt this dark feeling of fear and dread. I had no idea why I was feeling this way, but I definitely felt that something was wrong. As I play this memory back in my mind, there are only a few clear memories that I have of that evening. I clearly remember looking in my rearview mirror and seeing the dark silhouette of something very tall and very skinny that seemed to be covered with some kind of hair or fur running behind the truck after us. Whatever it wasn't a normal human or human at all. I remember hearing my brother crying and my dog barking ferociously at whatever was chasing us. I remember speeding very fast and shaking violently as the truck bounced on the washboard dirt road. I distinctly remember that this thing was only getting closer as my brother cried, "It's coming up on your side." I remember being as scared as hell and thinking that I didn't want to die. At the moment that I thought would be our last, I remember speeding around a bend in the road and seeing a car coming towards us in the opposite direction. It was then that I felt instant relief that whatever was following us could possibly be gone. Shaking up but alive, we made it to my grandmother's house, wondering what the hell had just happened. When we ran inside, not looking back, hoping that whatever was chasing us had not followed us home. As we told my grandma about our experience, she didn't seem too surprised, which kinda surprised us. She continued to tell us stories and repeating situations that we had already heard at one point or another about black magic and witches and something that the Navajo called Yi Nadlushi, or skinwalkers. Needless to say, I didn't even want to look out any of the windows at all for the rest of that night. And as a matter of fact, I never drove down that reservation road again until I was 21 years old. Story submitted by Anonymous. Preface. He got up and looked outside but couldn't see anything moving out there in the night. Thinking it was just a stray cat or dog, the witness began to turn around when he was startled by a loud distorted scream from the dark. When he looked outside again, he could dimly see a coyote-like figure crouched in the gloom, with messy gray hair and glowing eyes, which gave off an evil vibe. He also began to notice a stench like rotting meat smell befouling the air, and he backed away from the window to go tell his mother about what he had seen. At first, she told him what he himself had first thought, that it was just a stray dog, but he knew better. That was when things took a turn for the bizarre, with the witness submitting this story. Then we heard it. The thing outside started making more of its dreadful-like screams and started what sounded like thrashing outside on the ground. "You hear that? That's what I'm talking about," I told my mother. So both her and I got back up, looked outside the window, and the coyote-like thing was making its way to our door. It walked with an odd limp and dragged its back right leg as if this thing was handicapped. We could hear it start scratching against the door and make this odd muffled moaning sound. My mom went and got my dad, and they both started shouting in Navajo all sorts of words, telling the thing to go away and saying it's not welcome here. Well, all this commotion was enough to get the rest of the trailer up as they came out in the hallway. The only thing my mom did was turn to them and said, "Skinwalker," while proceeding to point to the door as the noise was happening. Apparently, they already knew exactly what to do as my grandfather got out a handgun from a drawer and a bag of ashes. He coated a few bullets and loaded them into the gun and went straight to the door, yelling out more Navajo that was too fast for me to comprehend. He swung the door open and fired twice. Nothing. The thing managed to escape from my grandfather before he could even pull the gun and shoot the bullets. "That's the fastest one I've ever seen," said my grandfather. Next thing you know, my aunts and parents are freaking out about what just happened, saying stuff like, "What if it comes back tomorrow?" and "It saw us." Does that mean we're targets now? Afterwards, my grandparents calmed everyone down, myself included, saying we'll be fine, and we all went to bed. It was around 3-ish. Morning comes, and my grandparents call one of their neighbors and explain to them what happened. Apparently, one of them was a medicine man who used to partake in yebichis, which is a Navajo ceremony used for healing and curing sicknesses, and came over to bless each family member and the grounds inside.